It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in greater West Bloomfield. And the West Bloomfield High School girls basketball team has plenty to celebrate right now because they have won their regional final and are just one win away from going back to the Breslin. Civic Center TV's Kevin McIntosh made the trip back to Lapeer High School to capture the key moments from the big game.
I'm here live at Lapeer High School, where the West Bloomfield girls varsity basketball team will be taking on the Clarkston Wolves in the regional finals to see who will advance to go to East Lansing to become state champions. As both teams prepare for tonight's game, we will see who will leave it all on the court in a win or go home situation.
West Bloomfield junior guard Sheridan Beal got things kicked off with an early three-pointer to get on the scoreboard. Clarkston answered back with fast-paced plays to help them get an early lead in the first quarter. The game slowed down as each team struggled with costly turnovers and a lack of offensive rebounds. It was a very physical battle between the Lakers and the Wolves, sending players to the foul line to shoot free throws. Sheridan Beal kept a hot hand as she sank a total of 3 three-pointers, including a buzzer beater, bringing the Lakers' deficit to 4 with a score of 11-15 to end the first quarter. Tough defense from Clarkston, causing steals and turnovers for the Lakers, was the storyline to begin the second quarter. It was points in the paint by West Bloomfield junior forward London Hall that kept them in the game. The steals, fast break points, and defensive rebounds was the separator for the Wolves in the first half. A drive to the basket draws a foul and one for Lakers senior guard Ava Lord as she makes her shots from the line. It was more fouls and free throws in the second quarter from each team that moved the game towards halftime, with the Lakers trailing 21-23. During halftime, I spoke with West Bloomfield High School Athletic Director Eric Pierce to inquire about what kind of support he provides to a team in the postseason making a championship push.
Well, I tell you what, it's the key word there is support. You provide as much support as you can. You try to make things as easy as possible for them so that all they have to do is worry about the game. Nothing in the outside, no outside noise, any of that stuff. You want to make sure that they're comfortable, that they're out there, they get a chance to showcase their talent and play their best.
The Lakers' Gamble-Jones twins are some major contributors to the success of the game and the season, and I caught up with their mother, Tiffany Gamble, asking about what the year has been like for the team from a parent's point of view.
Oh my God, I could talk forever. So they got counted out early. We had a very tough start. Our coach decided to put the heavyweight teams first. And so we got off to a rough start. Nobody thought that we would be here. So I am so proud of these girls. It was hard, but they soared through and we're here.
Clarkston came out in the third quarter ready by starting things off with a shot from deep, hitting nothing but net. The Lakers responded with teamwork that resulted in more points in the paint, but West Bloomfield's defense continued to struggle as they found themselves in foul trouble, sending the Wolves to the line for more free throws. It was big shots from the Lakers that showed up and not only contained Clarkston's lead, but eventually got West Bloomfield out in front in the third quarter. That momentum kept the Lakers in a good position offensively, although the Wolves never gave up on defense. By the end of the third quarter, the Lakers had a 3-point lead, 34-31. It all came down to the fourth quarter, which started with missed shots and defensive rebounds until things picked up with both teams scoring under the basket. The game remained close as Breasia Gamble-Jones drives to the rim to get the points and the foul, although the key free throw was missed. It was more action from Gamble-Jones, who found London Hall alone under the bucket for easy points in the fourth. Clarkston had some key missed free throws as well, but made up for the points with tough baskets under the rim and deep shots. Coming down to the wire, the Lakers and Wolves added more points from the foul line, but it came down to a three-point shot to send the game to overtime that was missed by Clarkston and got West Bloomfield the win, 47-42, to become regional champions.
It was a game of free throws that made the difference for the West Bloomfield High School girls varsity basketball team to walk away with the victory tonight against the Clarkston Wolves in the regional finals. They will now take on Utica Ford Tuesday, March 18th at 7 p.m. at University of Detroit Mercy for the chance to see who will return to the Breslin for an opportunity to be state champions in 2025. From Lapeer High School, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
Man, that looked like an exciting game. Big thank you to Kevin McIntosh for going out and getting that coverage and for relaying all that information here on the Splash Live. The Lakers will play in the state quarterfinals on Tuesday at Callahan Hall at the University of Detroit Mercy. And if they defeat Utica Ford, they will move on to the state finals weekend for the fourth consecutive year. More on the Laker girls basketball team coming up, including words from their coach, Darren McAllister. Stay tuned. Meanwhile, the Orchard Lake St. Mary's boys basketball team is already going back to the Breslin following their Division I state championship just last season. On Tuesday, the Eaglets defeated Macomb Lance Cruz North in the MHSAA Division I quarterfinal and will play in the state semifinal on Friday at 12 o'clock noon versus East Lansing High School. The star-studded St. Mary's team has been led by five-star McDonald's All-American Trey McKinney, who this week was named Mr. Basketball for the state of Michigan. Kevin McIntosh spoke to McKinney about the award and the big win following St. Mary's quarterfinals performance.
Civic Center TV, I'm Kevin McIntosh here live at U of D Callahan Hall. I'm here with Orchard Lake St. Mary's decorated high school star, Trey McKinney. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Great, fantastic game. Another win right here at Callahan Hall, headed to Breslin. How does it feel?
I'm good. 3 years at the Breslin, that's not normal, so I'm just happy to be a part of this team.
Now, I want to get a little bit into your background very briefly. Growing up, I know Flint was part of your childhood growing up as well. Can you just talk about how the culture of Flint influenced your basketball journey?
Flint is a basketball city. I grew up watching guys, a lot of guys that came out of Flint. So, it's really important to me being able to reach out to those guys and have relationships with them. So I'm just happy to be from Flint.
Winning the state championship is on a lot of basketball players' bucket list, but you won one last season, waiting to win another one this season. What made that 2024 championship team so special?
Just a camaraderie with the team, and we were all close knit, and we didn't care who was having an on night, and we were just happy that the next man was succeeding every night. So that team was a very special team.
You recently signed your letter of intent to be with Michigan as well. Just talk about what ultimately led to the decision to play with Michigan.
Just the opportunity, and Michigan being my dream school, and having a very, very good relationship with the coaches.
You also recently broke the all-time scoring record for St. Mary's as well. What does that record mean to you?
A lot, especially a lot of good guys coming out of Orchard Lake, and me just being one of them, and being the face of Orchard Lake has been a blessing.
Do you have any goals that you plan on setting or achieving as your freshman year at Michigan?
I really haven't thought that far yet, but I'm just ready to compete in the Big Ten, one of the best conferences in college basketball. So I'm just ready to compete, and I'm excited for the year.
You were recently named 2025 Mr. Basketball. Can you just talk about why this recognition is special for you?
Mr. Basketball is it's a storied award, so I'm just happy to be a part of a very elite group of guys, and there's been a lot of guys that went on to do great things after that, so I'm just happy to be put in position to be able to do something like them.
Any aspiring basketball players from Flint or Orchard Lake right now watching you, looking up to you, what message do you have to them?
Just thank you for supporting me. Flint has welcomed me with open arms and Orchard Lake, so I'm just happy to, have lived in both cities and just happy to keep pushing Orchard Lake and being from Flint. I don't take that lightly because there have been a lot of guys that's come out of there, so I'm just happy to be able to do this.
Well said. Once again, right here from U of D, Callahan Hall, watching Orchard Lake St. Mary's get another win, headed to the Breslin to chase that state championship. From U of D Mercy, right next to Trey McKinney, I'm Kevin McIntosh, Civic Center TV.
Kevin McIntosh getting words from hopefully a future NBA star. The Eaglets tip off their state semifinal game Friday at 12 o'clock noon. We will keep you updated here on the Splash Live and across all of our social media as St. Mary's looks to win back-to-back championships. So make sure to tune in to the Splash Live and make sure you're following us on social media, Facebook at Civic Center TV 15 and on X, Instagram, and YouTube at Civic Center TV. Jewish Senior Life has launched a senior education program with local universities to help give some of the older residents of the community another chance at getting some of those very important degrees and to learn a little bit more along the way. Here to tell us more, we have the CEO of Jewish Senior Life joining us right now on The Splash, Nancy Siegel-Heinrich, joining us right now. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm really good, and I'm really interested to get into this conversation. It really captured my attention. So let's get into the live and learn community with Jewish Senior Life. How did that idea get started?
So all across the country, there are some university towns that have built some senior complexes right on the campus. And those communities allow the residents, the senior residents, to come in and learn with the students. I love that idea. I've always felt like the best thing in the world to do in retirement would be to go back to college, to learn with friends, and especially if tests were not involved or writing papers. So I knew I couldn't bring our residences to a campus, and it would be difficult to bring my residents to campuses outside of our immediate environment. So I thought, why not bring the university to our communities, which is what we've done.
And that is amazing. That's great that you're able to provide that immersive, that true college experience to these seniors. And you're doing so with the partnership from Oakland University. How does that help to enhance the educational experience for the seniors?
Well, Oakland University has the highest level of educational offerings around. And we just enjoy their faculty so much and the range of classes that they can bring to our residents. The content has been superb that they've helped us provide. So it's been an unbelievable partnership.
I can imagine so. And I'm really curious to ask, what are some of the classes that this program helps to offer for the seniors at Jewish Senior Life?
You know, if you don't mind, I'm going to read about some of them on my cheat sheet here because I don't want to get the nature of these classes at all incorrect. American political institutions, Congress, the presidency, and the Supreme Court. And now a word from our sponsor, a look back at early TV advertising. Everything you need to know about artificial intelligence, but we're afraid to ask. A history, La Traviata, opera at its finest. Our residents are just thriving with this classwork. It's unbelievable.
Wow, some of those classes sound really, really interesting. I'm curious in checking some of them out myself. But what are some of the key benefits that some of these older adults experience from participating in these educational programs with JSL?
So, of course, they get intellectual stimulation and learning opportunities and growth opportunities. But beyond all of that great benefit of exercising your mind, staying young, is the socialization of learning together. Our residents, even though they are in close community with one another, now have opportunities to share meaningful conversations about content that they've learned together. So socialization is a huge key to this.
Absolutely. This would provide much more opportunities for these seniors to communicate with one another, forming these bonds all over a shared interest in the classes that they're taking. That sounds incredible. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, we have the CEO of Jewish Senior Life, Nancy Siegel-Heinrich, joining us right now on the Splash to talk about the Live and Learn community program that's happening with Jewish Senior Life. And having had this program for a while now, what has been some of the feedback from the seniors who've participated in this?
The seniors are just so thrilled. We've had people say this is the best experience of their life, or they feel young again, or they're just delighted to have these opportunities. So as the CEO of an organization that supports older adults, there's no more beautiful feeling than that you're supporting your residents in their continued growth. It's beautiful.
I can imagine so. It sounds like a very beautiful experience. I can also imagine that maybe there's some seniors who might need a little bit of help to get started and to get things going with classes like these. So what unique strategies does Jewish Senior Life use to foster engagement and connection among these residents during these courses?
So what we do is we offer an entire range of opportunities. We have small learning opportunities that are suitable for some folks, where you might be together with 4 or 5 students and be in a writing seminar or a short story seminar. Then we have lecture styles that are larger and more about the give and take between the professor and the resident. And we also provide outings that are related to the content that we share with them. So, for instance, our class on La Traviata went to the Michigan Opera Theater to see the opera. So they got to engage at an even more personal level with the actual content and the principles of the theater.
Wow, very immersive experiences. I like that in giving these seniors the opportunity to see some of these courses and see some of these shows up close. I really love hearing about that. And how does the Live and Learn community contribute to the physical, social, and emotional wellness of the JSL residents?
Well, of course, there is a trend in older adults to cocoon and not be as social as they could be. So the first thing that happens is people come out of their apartments for these special opportunities and they get to be together. So there's that socialization aspect. There's the activity of going to and from the classes and sharing in our graduation ceremonies. So when you stimulate the mind and you stimulate socialization, the benefits of increased longevity, better cognition, keeping your mind active, all of those things together, it's magic.
Well, I'm really excited to be hearing about this program. I hope it sticks around for a very long time, Nancy. One more quick question before we let you go. How do you hope to see the Live and Learn program expand, and what are your goals to expanding it to other residences?
So we are anxious to expand the program to all of our communities. We have 6 communities on 2 campuses, one in West Bloomfield and one in Oak Park. We have independent living, assisted living, and memory care. And we have market rate communities and HUD subsidized communities. And we feel that content at this college level is appropriate for everyone. So we are out there obtaining funding as we can to make sure that we can bring this experience to all of our residents on all of our campuses in all of our buildings. So it's just an opportunity that we think is so perfect to engage our residents and to enrich their lives, which is part of our mission, a huge part of our mission. And of course, we are Jewish Senior Life, but we're open to people of all faiths and beliefs, and we welcome everybody to come, live with us, and learn with us.
I want to see this program expand as far as it can go. I can't wait to see what's to come in the future. Nancy, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Love hearing about programs like this. Love hearing about these education opportunities for some of the older residents of the community with the Live and Learn program with Jewish Senior Life. Can't wait to see what's to come of the program in the future. And we've got plenty other great stories and programs to get into right after this quick commercial break, including words from the West Bloomfield Girls High School basketball coach Darren McAllister on their incredible season. Stay with us. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. Bringing you stories and memories from Orchard Lake. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
Hi, I'm Lauren Azuri, the Park Naturalist Supervisor for West Bloomfield Parks. Congratulations to you, Civic Center TV, for hitting 1 million views on YouTube. We really appreciate your partnership in spreading nature education in a creative way in our community. I'm Lauren Azuri, proud to be 1 in a million.
This is Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. On cable and the radio. On the web too, and on social media. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home. And now, back to the Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. As we said earlier in the show, the West Bloomfield Girls Lakers prevailed with a 47-42 victory over Clarkston on Wednesday. And the Lakers are going to play Utica Ford on Tuesday, March 18th at the University of Detroit Mercy in the Division I quarterfinals. If they win, they go back to the Breslin for their 4th consecutive appearance on state finals weekend. A very exciting game in an already very exciting season. And here to tell us more and to share his thoughts on this season so far, we have the coach of the West Bloomfield Girls Lakers basketball team, Darren McAllister, joining us right now on the Splash. Darren, good morning.
Good morning, Jake. How are you?
I'm really good. First and foremost, congratulations on the team and for all of their success. You guys have been doing incredible work out on the basketball court. What have been your thoughts on this incredible season so far?
Well, it's been an incredible season, but it's been an interesting season. We started out a little slow. We as coaches put together a brutal schedule to prepare us for March. And, we at one point we were 1-4, and I think a lot of critics and a lot of spectators wrote us off. But, we're still here.
That's absolutely right. You came back stronger than ever. And you're certainly right. This was a much tougher schedule that you've experienced this year as opposed to the years past. And how do you think that has helped the team's rising stars to come into form as new stars?
It certainly has helped us in terms of playing against the best. If you look at it, we had 8 losses, and 6 of those teams were playing in regionals. And 4 of those teams are playing in the quarterfinals. So we weren't playing cupcakes. We were playing the best of the best early on when we wasn't necessarily prepared. And now we understand that we won't see anything like we saw in December and in terms of being prepared. So we're prepared for it now. Our players are grown up, and it's at the right time. We play for March at this program. We don't necessarily play for the season.
Hey, you're up against these tough teams once again. You're going to be facing these teams in the next couple weeks, and you've got something to prove. Now you're ready to take on these teams head on. And going into this season, you guys, you suffered some losses as some seniors left last season, like the Davis twins, Destiny Washington, and Kendall Hendricks. How has the program responded to the loss of these leaders in elevating this team?
Well, the biggest thing is the players that were playing with those players were like sponges. When they were here, they weren't necessarily contributing as much, but they were really picking up and learning a lot of information and learning the work ethic. And I think that's what's helped them right now. And these players, there's a lot put on them early on because everybody was saying, you guys are West Bloomfield. They're absolutely right, West Bloomfield, but, it's a process. But I will say this, people have to remember, the road to the Breslin Center starts at 4925 Orchard Lake, and I hope people don't forget that.
They certainly will not forget that. For those just joining us right now on The Splash, we have the head coach of the West Bloomfield girls basketball team, the Lakers, Darren McAllister, joining us right now to share his thoughts on the incredible season that the Lakers have been having so far. And Darren, I want to get into this game that just happened yesterday in Clarkston. Very tough opponent, very close game, almost went into overtime, but you guys ultimately prevailed. Did that familiarity with an opponent like Clarkson help in game planning and reacting to the adjustments that the Wolves made throughout the game?
It certainly did. I mean, we knew Clarkston was a tough program, tough team, but we're a tough team as well. We split during the regular season, and for us, a little fuel to the fire was Twitter can help you or hurt you, and sometimes it can give you that bulletin board material, but from players and some coaches we're putting out there, hey, we just lost to West Bloomfield, but we're the conference champs. So we just put in our heads, okay, you're the conference champs, but we're seeking that regional championship, and that's a bigger trophy and have a bigger meaning. So we had that bulletin board material, and we did what we were supposed to do last night.
You certainly did, and now you guys are moving on to the quarterfinals, a very, very big game coming up. What are you going to be working on with the team before this upcoming quarterfinal match?
Well, the reality is we've identified our opponents, so now it's up to the coaching staff to go ahead and scout. So we're all scouting right now. We don't know a lot about Utica Ford, but the reality is we know a lot about us. So we're just going to make sure that we do what we're supposed to do when we're supposed to do it. And if we do that, I think we'll be okay.
That's all you can do, and you guys are accomplishing this job extremely well. And the playoffs so far, it's been a mixture of some very close games and some big wins and plenty of close calls throughout, as we mentioned earlier with Clarkston. What have you been the most proud of this team as they've found a way to win throughout this month of March?
Well, I think the biggest thing to start off with is I'm most proud that they've identified who they are. The last year's team, we had some players that could really play some ball. And the reality is our goal last year was not to just win the state championship, but to dominate. We wanted to dominate every game, which we did. We wanted to dominate the championship game, which we did. This team right here is not last year's team, but they found their identity, understood their role. And a big thing for us is being resilient. This team has been resilient. This team has taken the biggest punches from everybody. But moreover, what people don't understand too, we get everybody's best game just by the fact that we're West Bloomfield. So every game for us is the other team's Super Bowl, and we have to respond, and we have. And right now, we're one of the top 8 teams in the state.
Absolutely, and that resilience is such an important part of what makes a good basketball team great. And the road to Breslin is always very difficult, especially when you expect to win titles here in West Bloomfield. How does the team keep the game of basketball fun?
Well, winning is fun. That's the biggest thing. So if you go out there, I mean, the thing about us is we understand, a lot of people say, you guys don't smile, you don't laugh, you don't do this. Well, once we hold up that trophy, that's when we're smiling, that's when we're laughing. When it's over, we're smiling, we're laughing. But, when we're playing, we're in business mode. We're hunting. We're out there. We're trying to get wins. So we're just going out there and winning and giving our best effort. That's the fun part. So right now we're enjoying this ride. We hope we can ride it out to hold up another trophy. But right now we've far exceeded any and everybody's expectations except ours.
Certainly can't argue with an answer like that. Everybody loves to win. Darren, I'd love hearing your thoughts on this season. One more quick question before we let you go. What are the next steps that you guys can take to go from contenders to a title to destined to repeat as champs this year?
Well, Jake, it's just one thing. Just go out there and be who we're supposed to be. I tell our players all the time, if you do what you're supposed to do, you'll be who you're supposed to be. And for the last 3 years, it's been just that way. And I don't see it being any different this year.
I love it. That's exactly the kind of answer a coach should give. Coach, thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your thoughts on this basketball season here on The Splash.
Thank you so much. Go Lakers.
Go Lakers, absolutely. Can't wait to see what's to come from the girls basketball team as they carry on into the quarterfinals and hopefully repeat as state champs very, very soon. The Detroit Red Wings alumni are going to be facing off against a local hockey team known as the Michigan UCP Pucksters, all to raise money for cerebral palsy research. That match is going to be taking place on Saturday, March 15th at the St. Mary's Arena in Orchard Lake. I recently had the chance to speak with a board member of the Michigan United Cerebral Palsy team, Mike Ward, to hear about this incredible event and what it means to be raising so much money for so many people in need. We have a board member with Michigan United Cerebral Palsy, Mike Ward, joining us right now on The Splash. Mike, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am great and really happy to be talking with you about this incredible event that's coming up in March. What does it mean to you personally to be a part of such a unique and impactful event like the MIUCP charity hockey game?
Well, we've been doing this now for 22 years. This will be our 23rd game. We actually started it in 2000. We took a couple years off for when COVID was reigning. But this event has really not only helped us from a financial standpoint, the organization, but it has created a ton of awareness for what our agency does in terms of our work with people who have cerebral palsy, but 65% of the people that we offer assistance to in the state of Michigan have a disability other than or in addition to cerebral palsy. So that's 2.3 million Michiganders who live with a disability. So that's why this event is such a big one for us.
Wow, it's awesome to hear of the impact that you guys are having on so many people here in Michigan. And having done this event for 23 years, I'd imagine that there have been a lot of things you've seen from this event and how it's grown in that time period. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, when we first began, it was just a game between some guys who play beer league hockey and the Red Wing alumni. And over the years, we've grown it so that each player who is on our roster, they basically create a website profile on our fundraising platform, and they raise money. And about 10 years ago or 15 years ago, we began adding sled hockey to the event. And sled hockey is played by athletes who have a disability that does not allow them to use their legs. So they can use their arms to propel them, and it's an amazing sport. And so we have a group of able-bodied athletes who get in sleds and participate with sled players from the Bell Tire sled hockey program out of Taylor, Michigan. And they are phenomenal. They provide us sleds, and they provide their players, and we mix them up so that our players can be right there on the ice with these tremendous athletes, and there are some youth players and some adult players. So that has really added to the event over the years. But the big draw is always the Red Wing alumni, and we've had such great support over the years from players like Mickey Redmond, Darren McCarty, Joel Kosher. We've had Igor Larionov at the game. We've had Dino Cicerelli has played several times, and then regulars like Johnny Ogrodnik. We've had Red Berenson. So we get lots of great names, and that's part of the draw for people to come out and see these guys basically beat our beat our team. We're 0-21-1.
Oh, no.
We tied 1 year. We tied 1 year at the last minute, and we tied 10-10. The games are pretty competitive. In the last few years, we've tried to stack our roster to to give ourselves a decent chance. But these alumni, they're so good, they're so skilled, and when they want to, whenever we get close, they just turn it up a notch, and we basically don't stand a chance.
I can only imagine what must have been going through everybody's heads on that game when you actually did tie a bunch of former Red Wings players. That must have felt incredible. But how do the players for both the UCP Pucksters and the Red Wings alumni get involved with fundraising like this? And why is it so important to meet individual fundraising goals?
So to meet individual fundraising goals is basically so important for an agency like ours, because we depend on fundraising dollars in addition to grants to provide advocacy, benefits counseling. We provide assistive technology. We provide portable wheelchair ramps for those who need it, things like that. So the fundraising goals are always something that we have to keep a close eye on, and that's a year-round thing for us. It just as funding for different nonprofits have become more competitive, this is one of the events that we depend on to raise funds for our operating expenses. And then, in terms of getting involved, we have a great website, which is mi-ucp.org/hockey. And you can go on there, you can see all the players that are playing. And if you want to make a donation to any of them, or if you just want to donate to the event itself, there's a link there. But come out to the event. It's actually free. It's at the St. Mary's Arena in Orchard Lake, which is a beautiful rink. So the event is free. The doors open at 4:30. The first sled game is on at 5 o'clock. And then at 7 o'clock, the alumni take on the My UCP Pucksters. And we always do a bit of a parody jersey for an old NHL team, and this year we took on the old Whalers jersey, so it's the My UCP Pucksters, and we'll have things like 50-50 tickets there that we're going to be selling, and Chuck a Puck, which is you buy a puck for $5, and then at the break, everybody lines up on the side of the boards and throws them out, and whoever gets closest to the center dot will win either Red Wing tickets, Tiger tickets, $150 gift certificate from the Mitten State T-shirt company, or several other prizes. We've got lots of fun things throughout the event, and here's what the puck looks like. There's that, and I have to thank my one of our friends, one of our players, Rich Summers, sponsored the pucks, and we had another sponsor, the White Lake Police Foundation, sponsored our jerseys. So that's part of how we offset any costs that we might have for this event. Is we get sponsors, and we have donor advertising, MGM Grand Detroit, Cargill, Domino's is providing the food that we'll have for the players in the afterglow upstairs, which is a small gathering that for our players that we like to give them a little bit of a reward at the end of getting their tails beaten.
Well, everything is made better with Domino's. That's absolutely right. For those just joining us right now on The Splash, we have Mike Ward, a board member with Michigan United Cerebral Palsy, joining us right now to talk about their foundation's annual Detroit Red Wings alumni game that is going to be taking place on March 15th. And this event has been going on for the past 23 years, and you guys have raised nearly $650,000 $100,000. How have the funds from this event been used to benefit disabilities across Michigan? I believe you mentioned some of those facts before.
Yeah. So we operate programs such as Representative Payee, where we help individuals who have a disability who maybe can't manage their finances themselves, but they want to remain independent. So we help them and we become their payee. Or with benefits counseling, where many individuals with a disability are on Social Security, and so they have to be careful. If they want to work, they have to figure out how that will affect their benefits, and we offer that counseling. So those are advocacy areas. But we also help with education. We get involved with different boards of education or different PTAs, different groups who need assistance there. We do one-on-ones for IEPs through our resources at the agency. Assistive technology has become such an important aspect of people who live with a disability, because it can be something where they have to modify their wheelchair or they have to modify something in their home. They need a piece of technology. They could be in need of laptop, hearing device, speech device, all kinds of things. And we're able to provide some of those things. And when we can't provide it, we are in the position now of being able to offer low or no interest loans for devices or technology. And we also have 2 ramp programs. One is a portable wheelchair ramp that is something that can be folded up, put in a car so that somebody can get out of their house, get to another location and have a ramp on both ends and not have to worry if there's an accessible ramp in the location where they're going. So those are just some of the programs that we have been involved in. We also are a referral to many other organizations that we partner with throughout the state. Because as a small organization, serving 2.3 million Michiganders who live with a disability, we can't do it all ourselves, but we have the access to resources that can.
Well, that is amazing to hear of everything you guys are doing. This event sounds like so much fun. I can't wait to see it. I got one more quick question for you before we let you go, Mike. What message would you like to share with attendees and donors who are supporting Michigan United Cerebral Palsy through this event?
So the biggest thing is our goal is to close the disability divide. And that divide can be anything from the distance somebody has to go in their wheelchair where there's not an accessible ramp, or it can be the distance between their education or their workforce, or whatever that gap is. Everything that we do when we're looking at the programs and services that we offer is, does it close the disability divide? Does it help people close that gap? And that's our deciding point. So come on out and celebrate this day with us. And if you make it there for the sled game, you are going to see some remarkable athletes at work on the ice. And come and meet them, come and support them, and throw a few bucks our way. That would be great.
Well, I can't wait to see it. I'm sure the rest of the greater West Bloomfield community can't wait to see it either. Mike, thank you so much for joining us on The Splash today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this. This is one of the ways that we are able to spread the word. So thank you very much.
Big thank you to Mike Ward for taking the time to speak with us about this incredible event. It sounds like so much fun. I'm going to be there seeing all the action myself, and it's going to make such a difference and raise so much money for cerebral palsy research. We got other great stories and great interviews to get into right after this quick break. Live, local, social, It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Want to enjoy Civic Center TV on your social media? Find us on Instagram at Civic Center TV. Get notified when we upload one of our interviews, full episodes, and more. Thank you for watching and listening to Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
I'm Gina Gregory, president of the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society. I'm excited that Civic Center TV has reached 1 million views on YouTube. Congratulations. That's just terrific. We appreciate everything Civic Center does for the Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society and the community. For us, they promote and highlight our events. It's awesome to have them available 24/7 on YouTube. I'm Gina Gregory and proud to be one in a million.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. We're currently in the month of March, and March is Women's History Month, which means it's important to be highlighting some important resources and some important women business owners here throughout the Greater West Bloomfield community. Here to tell us some more information, we have the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Levine, joining us right now in The Splash. Suzanne, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Always a pleasure to talk with you. Really interested in getting into this conversation. How is the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce celebrating Women's History Month this year?
Well, I do believe that we celebrate our women business owners and leaders every day. One of the ways is that we have special occasions like our Women's Inspiration Network, that hosts special women leaders. They give talks about some of their journeys that they've had to navigate. And so we always try to do things of that nature to try to help our women in business, because we know that they have certain obstacles that men don't have to share.
That's absolutely right. There are certain obstacles that women business owners have to deal with that male business owners don't have to. Could you relay some of those hardships to us here on The Splash?
Well, it's often more difficult for women to borrow money than men. It's often more difficult for women to be taken seriously, especially in a boardroom, or for their voice to be heard. So one of the things we try to do is we try to connect them with the Great Lakes Women's Business Council, which offers free advice. They give them opportunities to get grants and loans, help them with their business plan. And we also have other women that offer financial counseling to women, because they do have different needs. So we do whatever we can to support our women business owners and our women leaders, because it's really important for the next generation to understand their role and hopefully make life better for everyone, not just for women.
That's all anybody wants. We want to see these businesses succeed. And Suzanne, what have been some success stories you've seen from maybe some local female-owned businesses right here in the Greater West Bloomfield community?
Well, you can see that Closet Envy, which is a high-end consignment shop, they are doing extremely well. Our Nothing Bundt Cake, she has several locations, not just in West Bloomfield. We have a lot of business owners that are in the beauty salon business, and they are thriving. So there are lots of ways that women can thrive and survive. And we have a lot of women in leadership at Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital. So it's really great to see these women, and they offer their advice, their journey, some of the obstacles that they encountered and how they overcame them. And that's what we're here for. We're actually here for the entire community, but it's nice to be able to help certain specific areas of the community that seem to need a little more support.
That's absolutely right. For those just joining us right now on The Splash Live, we have Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director of the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, here to talk about Women's History Month and promoting and helping female-owned businesses here in Greater West Bloomfield. And Suzanne, what is some advice you can offer to women who are looking to start their own business in this area of Michigan?
I think the best advice is make sure that the market isn't saturated with your kind of business. It's going to be very difficult in this very competitive market to set you apart. You can contact Oakland County and see how many of those type of businesses exist in our area. You can call the township, you can call the chamber, but make sure that you are committed to this enterprise and that you understand all the implications of your business. Do you have a business plan? Do you have the financial backing? Are you able to sustain if you have a couple bad months? What about employee? Employee retention is the most important thing because one bad interaction with an employee can ruin your business. So, trying to guide them in that way, but I think trying to figure out what makes them unique? What makes your business stand out? Because competition is never going away. So let's try to have a plan so that we can make sure that you succeed.
That's absolutely right. Couldn't have said it better myself. And Suzanne, throughout the month of March, Women's History Month, you've been making the rounds a little bit. You recently had an appearance on the Thais Leverett show to talk about women in business and to talk about yourself. What was that experience like?
The experience was great. She is really a star in the making. She knew exactly the right kind of questions to ask to get the kind of response and made me feel so comfortable. So it was really, truly great. And I think we need more women interviewing women to hear their stories because we all can glean some sort of a lesson from this. I know my journey is different than other women, but I think it's really important. The other thing is to mentor other women, especially younger women. I think it's really important to make sure that we understand it's not competition. These are our future leaders. These are people that we want to see in our community, make a difference. And so I think it's really important to try to find someone that needs your help and guide them along the way.
That's certainly right. That's all great things we can do to help these business owners. One more quick question, Suzanne, before we let you go. And you just touched on this a little bit, but how can the community better support women-owned businesses here in West Bloomfield?
I think the best way is if we have like another women's pop-up like we did last year at Orchard Mall. It was great. We had about 60 businesses of independently owned women businesses. They can also support by calling the chamber or calling the township, trying to find out who these business owners are. Go and visit them. Go into a Closet Envy or a Nothing Bundt Cakes or a beauty salon and introduce yourself. Maybe you want to try out their product. I think it's really important, obviously, to support every member of our community. Our businesses, especially our small to medium-sized businesses, are the backbone of our not just our township, but of our nation. So whatever we can do to support them would be great. And also, I want to give a shout out to all the moms out there because they have the most important job of anyone. And a lot of us multitask. We are career women, but we also have an important job in raising healthy, productive people that will be our future. So shout out, thank you to all the women that are mothers. We really appreciate you and hope to support you in the future.
That's absolutely right. One of the most important jobs in the world. Hi, Mom. I know my mom's probably watching. Suzanne, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
And she did a good job with you, so you can tell her I said so.
I absolutely will. Thank you, Suzanne. Loved getting into this conversation and loved hearing about what we can do to help promote and support women business owners here in Greater West Bloomfield. And as was mentioned in the interview, Suzanne recently appeared on the Thais Leverett show to talk about her career and to talk about what she provides for the city of West Bloomfield. We have some highlights of that interview with Thais Leverett right now.
Sitting where you sit right now and you're seeing the ebb and flow of the community that you love change often, whether it's from something like a pandemic, whether it's political changes, whether it's financial upturns and downturns. What are some of the things that you have to, whether it's focus on or what kind of gives you what you need to help West Bloomfield navigate those changes that happen so often?
Well, that's great. I'm always trying to reinvent the chamber, and I tell people they have to reinvent their business. Plus, competition's never going away.
Sure.
And so there might be 10 med spas, what makes yours unique? So I try to sit down with them and help them figure out the clients they want, and how can we do this? Is it TikTok? Is it Instagram? But I really do believe, especially with health and money, those are trust issues. You're not going to just go to any dentist.
You're not.
And you're not going to give your parents to any home care person. So that's why I created these unique networking venues so that they can meet other people and build the trust that they need to have them trust. Yes, I'm going to come to you as a dentist. I'm going to allow my parent to be in your assisted living place. And so it's a battle, because you're trying to really figure out what is the next big thing. How can I help these people? Because no matter what they say about social media, I do not believe it will ever replace this kind of one-on-one getting to know someone.
What are some of the things from maybe a previous role that you feel have influenced what you do now?
Oh, that's a great question. I think, as I say, I had a lot of experience in television.
Right.
The creativity. And unfortunately, it's a very competitive field. So, trying to navigate all that and not create jealousy, because there were certain awards that I won where my peers did not.
Yeah.
But, trying to figure out, really learning about people, and I think it's really important. One of the best things that I ever learned is someone said, if you take the word listen and you rearrange the letters, it's silent.
Oh.
So listening to
Gets her pen and does it.
That's right. But no, seriously, it's like everyone wants to feel validated and respected, and that their opinion matters. So I think that was the best thing when I was a producer, because I'd have to go out into the field, or I'd have to get someone to come on the show, and maybe they were hesitant, so I would listen to their story or get them to talk, and usually they would agree to it, or they would help me find somebody else. And I think that's that, and learning to be grateful and gracious.
That's something that people often miss in day-to-day life, is just being grateful for the little things, the little moments, the little interactions, for sure. Definitely something that we can all get back to. And West Bloomfield is a very special place for a lot of reasons, but I think the involvement that the Chamber has in some of the most basic things in the community. I know the Chamber has been involved in the high school.
Right.
I have 2 kids who graduated from West Bloomfield High School. I have one in elementary. Do the math, send lots of prayers. But the Chamber touches all elements of our lives in this community, and it's very evident and apparent, for sure.
No, absolutely. And I'm a big advocate of West Bloomfield schools. All 3 of my kids graduated from there, and are very, successful, hardworking, just good human beings.
Right.
And so the schools are great, and I think we need to support whatever we can in our community, because we've got the most beautiful parks, we have the greatest library.
It's a great library.
And we have a very diverse community that seems to have been able to navigate, all of the issues that we have, and still, seem to get along, and we're still together.
Yeah,
and which is great, and that's the way that I feel about the people in my chamber. I'm more of a boutique-y kind of concierge chamber. I know all my members, and I know their business, and I can help them strategically plan, and if I can't, then I refer them elsewhere.
Right. So they need to succeed, whether it's right here with you, great, but if not, you're still focused on making them successful.
Absolutely. And I always tell people, maybe my chamber isn't the right one for you. I'm okay with that.
Right.
Just like, this might not be the right restaurant, that might not be the right doctor, that might, whatever. Right. And I'm okay with it, because I know what I have to offer.
Right.
And I feel like I have a lot to offer I have a senior resource group that networks, and then I created a talk time where now people can get in front of seniors and give them advice and health advice.
That's fantastic.
We have a Women's Inspiration Network, a WIN. We have our Business Innovation Generator.
I'll be calling you after
I know.
this.
We have a great leadership breakfast. Last year we had Casey Crane Communications, and my good friend Roop Raj,
great.
that I love, that I met actually when I was doing Club Connect, and used him in a lot of my shows. So, and because I've maintained those relationships, people will do things for you, but show, and I'm a big believer in the thank you note. I still write the old-fashioned thank you note.
And receive it in a handheld
Right.
piece of paper.
Because people know that you took and that's what they want to know, that you took the time and the effort to acknowledge them.
For sure.
And so, that's kind of
Wise words from Suzanne. That was just a little snippet of that interview with Thais Leverett. You can check out the full interview on our website at civiccentertv.com or by scanning the QR code that you're going to see on our screen in just a moment. You could go right to the website and you can check out all of our previous interviews from all of the episodes of the show and all of the interviews we've had from our other programs. But that is going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. There's the QR code right there. You can scan that QR code, go right to the website. But that is going to do it for us today right here on the Splash Live. I want to say a big thank you to all of our guests for stopping by, for Kevin McIntosh for his work getting that basketball coverage, and for everyone here on the team, I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.